Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown and 205 Live results video for July 2nd episode. Birthdays on July 2nd, Bret Hart. He was born 1957. Charles Robinson, Little Nate. He was born 1964. Scotty Too Hotty, the guy who did the Worm, the original Worm. He was born 1973. And on the July 3rd, birthdays, 1989. And I'm doing this video on July 3rd night. WWE did an angle on this week's Raw with Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, that saw their Falls Count Anywhere match end with a stage explosion as they went through the Titantron. Square outing that left to hold the rest of it standing. Noted as noted by WWE, the storyline medical update after the explosion angle on last night on the Raw noted that Braun Strowman may have suffered a ruptured spleen while Bobby Lashley was still being evaluated at the local hospital. As seen below, WWE made another storyline update, noted that Strowman was admitted to the hospital with a possible separated pelvis. Updates also noted that Lashley has been cleared and released from immediate care. The SSE Hydro Arena in Glasgow, Scotland, announced on the 3rd that the WWE Raw tapings has been scheduled for Monday, November 3rd, has been changed. It's no longer a TV event. The new start will be 7:30 local time, and doors will open at 6 p.m. It was also noted that the lineup for superstars previously announced to appear remains the same. Refunds are being offered to fans who want them. Very similar to when they did the John Cena and the Nexus thing. When John Cena was advertised and wasn't appearing. No word yet on when the November 11th Raw will be taped, but it could be done the week before. But I'll keep you updated whenever I find out. The WWE could have taped it at the November 8th live event in London, but that show was recently nixed as well. Likely because they need talents to be at the SmackDown episode that tapes the same night. And by that time, it will be on Fox Network. Friday, November 8th in Manchester for that SmackDown. Glasgow schedule change may have something to do with WWE return to Saudi Arabia as well. It was recently reported that WWE was looking to change the Saudi return date from the planned date Friday, November 1st, but there's no word yet on the new Saudi event will be. John Cena has done away with his JBL style haircut that he had for the Project X movie with Jackie Chan. Speaking to fans in Mandarin at this link, Cena revealed that he cut his hair for a new secret movie project that he cannot tell fans about. But we already know that last week, Cena started filming Fast and Furious 9 movie, which hits theaters May 22nd, 2020. And will not feature The Rock. This is the movie that Cena is referring to in the video above. On the 11th installment of two-man power trip of wrestling's feature series, welcomes Hall of Famer, the Showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania, and former WWE World Champion, the Heartbreak Kid, HBK, Shawn Michaels. HBK is making his TMTOW debut to promote his role in the film 90 Feet from Home, where Michael tackles a very serious part playing an abusive and alcoholic father of a former Major League Baseball player. The film also stars screen veterans Dean Cain of Lois and Clark fame and Eric Roberts. In this excerpt, link, you can see, in addition to discussing the movie, HBK also touches on his current job in NXT as a trainer, how important it is to have one of the top stars of the late 90s and 2000 prepare the next generation of superstars for in-ring success and his own in-ring future. Full episode, again at that link. And here's more of the 90 Feet from Home film. It was very different and way out of my wheelhouse and kind of comfort zone, and especially now, I've mentioned in a few of these interviews, and of course, those who are familiar with my wrestling career, and even the bad guy version of me, there was still a little bit of fun and some charm and almost a Dennis the Menace quality of the bad guy version of me, and this was totally different than anything I've ever done. It was clearly evil and a great deal of hatred and dysfunction, and honestly, that was the most intimidating part of all this, and especially now, at this point in my life, I am a relatively happy-go-lucky 53-year-old man, so the later version of Jimmy Devine, I felt, was something that I would be more comfortable with, but the early version with the violence and abuse, and honestly, the hatred and vitriol that this character has was something that I don't know if I ever, even at my worst, had made quite that bad. So that was the most challenging part, and through this experience, try to create, that was a bit of an uncomfortable process, I'd have to admit. Channeling a non-traditional role as an abusive stepfather. Comments also in the link. The one thing that I guess helps me is that there is a yin and a yang to everything. For humility and all those things, there is evil, there is hate, there is pride. And I really don't think you can appreciate the one truly unless you have a real understanding of what the other. So from that standpoint, I was certainly at peace with myself and doing the role, but honestly, the challenge was knowing and wondering if I could commit to going there in a very uninhibited, no hold barred way. I was very concerned because I know you bring out qualities that even they are all in all of us. The majority of us work all of our lives to get away from those and keep them under wraps and secure them in a little lockbox in our heart or our mind and something, and you work very hard to not allow them to get out until a time when you're supposed to. It is a bit kind of strange, but I've told everybody that that I certainly don't have the experience to be able to turn something like that on and off. And it is a switch where I haven't been acting long enough to manufacture that on command. For me, it was a process of trying to get there and allow yourself to engage in that side of you that you have never been in touch with, and certainly those areas that you have at one time in your life. You've tried to distance yourself so far from that, it is a kind of strange to want to allow yourself to willingly go there. Its first impressions of the WAB Performance Center can be found in this link. And he goes on here. What they've got going on there is so phenomenal. I've got to be honest, it doesn't matter what, respectfully, the kind of credentials you've got coming in. You got the most important thing one needs to understand, and working for the Performance Center and NXT is you want to add to what is already a part of the phenomenal system. And you notice it as soon as you come through the door. That is something that kicks you right in the face when you come in, and that was honestly the most important thing that I expressed with Hunter and Matt is, my goodness, that you got guys here. It's really great, and I'd love to be part of this, but only if I can enhance it and make it better and can add to what was already a fluid and efficient system. How does it feel? He has fit in so far, he was asked. A lot that is trying to find your place again, and because you've got so much covered, you start to look at it as where can I help the most? I hope I've been able to do that, and it has been a sheer joy to be part of it and great learning experience for me, which is one of the things that I strangely enough said to everyone when I got there, was that I really feel like if I am to do well here, I will learn as much as I'd hope to be teaching. And I really do think that has happened. I am hoping that the product has and will continue to get better with all of the people that we are adding, myself included, but it is exciting for me because at this stage of your life, learning other aspects of the wrestling business, a business that I have loved since I was 12 is pretty special. You don't always imagine yourself at 53 years old doing the same line of work that you've been doing since you were 19 and still learning different aspects of it. To do that with your buddies and, of course, with a bunch of talent that is a joy to work with and clearly makes it easy when it is a generation that grew up with me and Road Dogg and Hunter. Right now, I feel like it is something that works for all of us in a positive way. Then he was asked about, is Bret Hart his greatest opponent? I think everyone would be certainly say on paper, and if you look at Bret, like I say, I guess it is no stretch that they had chemistry, but still, every now and then you run into somebody that does have as much talent, but isn't quite there. And unfortunately, Bret and I knew that the first time we ever got in the ring together, I think in a tag team, it was one of those things that you do, and it only takes a couple of touches of one another, and you know that there's something special there. You find little ways to know that it is going to come to fruition in a better way and more positive way in the future. And again, this is something that Bret and I had, and I had that with Jericho. And I was fortunate enough to have that with a decent amount of guys when you put together certainly the ability of a Bret Hart. And, I certainly feel like I had the capability too. And then you have the chemistry with each other. It is a pretty tough combination to beat. Is an in-ring return ever possible again? No, I will leave it to the younger generation. They're doing a fantastic job. I'm good with what has been done, and I'm all set. According to PW Insider, retired wrestling star D'Lo Brown has been hired to a multi-year contract as a producer with Impact Wrestling. The reports state that Brown was offered full-time position after receiving rave reviews for his work in previous months by backstage officials and in-ring talent. Brown's biggest asset is reportedly his ability to collaborate with other wrestlers and not just push tactics that worked for him when he performed. Impact is also in the process of signing another producer as well. Probably for live events if they're still doing it. Probably not. WB posted this clip of Allister Black mastering new bottle cap challenge using a black mass kick. New viral social media started this past weekend with UFC featherweight champion Max Holloway and designer Errolson Hugh challenging singer John Mayer, Jason Statham, Conor McGregor, and many others have also participated in the challenge. Spoilers for Ring of Honor Best in the World TV tapings at 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania from 6/29. Well, it's not spoilers anymore because they've already had it. The boys defeated two local competitors in a dark match. Shane Taylor defeated Brett Titus. Tasha Steele defeated Jenny Rose. Angelina Love and Stella Gray in the four quarters Women of Honor match to determine the number one contender. After the match, lights went out and Maria Manic appeared in the ring and beat up the ring crew guys. Comment from Dave Muscarella on Twitter. Always good to see you at Jenny Rose _JRow. And at Real Steels, also at Stella Gray 215 in action. The Bouncers and Jay Lethal defeated the Kingdom. Eli Drake defeated Grizzly Redwood for an NWA match. Coast to Coast defeated Marcus Cross and Griff Garrison. Jonathan Gresham defeated Kenny King, Dalton Castle, and Jeff Cobb in a four-quarter Survivor match. Jay Lethal came out and talked about losing at Madison Square Garden, and that on July 20th, he will defeat Ring of Honor World Champion Matt Taven. Taven came out and did a promo about being the face of Ring of Honor. Alex Shelley made a surprise appearance, told that he wants a shot at the winner of Manhattan Mayhem for his return from his injury. Another tweet from at Dave Muscarella. Scoop number 23. Now Alex Shelley is out. Welcome back, Chance. says he is playing the veterans card and says he wants a shot of the winner of Manhattan Mayhem. Hashtag ROH Philly. Sons of Savagery defeated 2 wrestlers who were attacked before they could be announced. Caprice Coleman interviewed NWA World Champion Nick Aldis. Marty Scurll came out and wants the title. Nick tells them that he can pick any member of the Villain Enterprises, including himself. Marty doesn't answer, but Nick Aldis versus any member of the Villain Enterprises was announced to take place on August 9th in Canada. James Storm appeared while Ian Riccoboni was interviewing Colt Cabana about his injuries. The two ended up having a match where Storm won the NWA National Heavyweight title by making Cabana tap out. Another tweet from Dave Muscarella. Scoop number 30. James Storm makes Colt submit to a half-crab submission and is your now NWA North American champion. Hashtag ROH Philly. Silas Young defeated Josh Woods. Shinobi Shadow Squad defeated Brian Johnson, Keys, and Cabarello. Carissa Rivera defeated Sumi Saki for a Women of Honor match. Rush and Dragon Lee defeated the Briscoes. More comments from Dave Muscarella on Twitter. Scoop number 42. Crowd going absolutely ape crap now. Fight for every chance. Hashtag ROH Philly. Lifeblood defeated Villain Enterprises in a Philly street fight match. That concludes the Ring of Honor results. Dark match before SmackDown at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Saw Ali defeat Buddy Murphy. Same pre-SmackDown dark match that has been taking place for a few weeks now and can be found in this link. Action. SmackDown opened up with Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton addressing the stage explosion with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley from Monday Night Raw. We'll see a replay, and Tom says we will hear from Lashley later on. We're live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio as Kevin Owens comes out for another edition of KO Show. Greg Hamilton does the ring introduction. Fans boo Owens as he takes the mic and introduces tonight's guests, Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Owens is in a bad mood tonight, and he reads off cards. Shane is out first, and his music starts up. Drew McIntyre is also out. Shane, as Hamilton does, do his grand introduction inside the ring. They talk about the tag team match at WWE Extreme Rules against Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. We'll see a replay of Taker's message to McIntyre and McMahon from last night on Raw. Shane mocks Taker, and Owens asks if he's scared of Taker. Shane says he is not. Fans start chanting loudly for Taker. Shane reveals that the match at Extreme Rules will now be a no-holds-barred match. Drew knocks Reigns and talks about how everyone knows what he and Shane are capable of in a regular match. But now it's a no-holds-barred match. Will be a vicious physical assault like nobody has ever seen before. Shane says that that's not spooky, and Owens agrees. Owens replays Taker's entrance from last night to show that McMahon and McIntyre looked scared, and they retreated from the ring when Taker came out. Owens says it looked like Shane was a tiny bit afraid of Taker. Shane asks Owens what he's doing. Owens is on fire tonight, and Drew says this interview is over. Music interrupts, out comes Dolph Ziggler. Owens immediately starts yelling at Ziggler about how no one wants to hear him rant on how he should be the WWE champion. Fans are popping for that as he turns face. Momentarily, Ziggler rants on the WWE title anyway. Ziggler says the only thing that Owens looks like he should be is in a hot dog eating contest. Owens fires back and says at least he would win, which is more than Ziggler can say about wrestling matches. Fans pop again. Shane interrupts them and announces Owens and Ziggler versus Heavy Machinery for tonight. The winners will be added to the SmackDown Tag Team titles match at Extreme Rules to make it a triple threat. Ziggler and Owens argue until Owens' music hits and he makes his exit. So the come segment, Kofi and Samoa Joe face off. Taylor Braxton stops Daniel Bryan and Rowan backstage. Bryan isn't happy and another tag team being added to the match, but they are competent and walking in and out of Planet Champions would go to commercial. Big E and Daniel Bryan walk up, have a match. Back for the break, Taylor Braxton on backstage with New Day's Big E and Xavier Woods. They're not happy, but is also not worried about another tag team being added to the match at Extreme Rules. Big E begins his introduction and as they head to the ring. SmackDown Tag Team Champion Daniel Bryan was out next with Rowan as they're sitting in the ringside. We get some back and forth to start the match. Bryan delivers kicks, but Big E just takes him and tells Bryan to keep it coming. Big E catches Bryan in an abdominal stretch and gives him a positivity spanking in the middle of the ring. Big E runs over Bryan and they take over with counters. Big E with a big clothesline to send Bryan out of the ring for a breather. Back to commercial. As we get split screen. So there goes that portion about no wrestling during commercial breaks thing. Back with the ring, Bryan is unloading on Big E. Bryan charges and hits a low corner drop kick to the knee. Bryan wastes some time and plays to the crowd for boos as they were trying to rally for Big E next. Big E gets up and fights back, but the knee is bothering him. Big E manages to nail an overhead belly-to-belly suplex and then another big shot. Bryan fights off Big E with some stick kicks to the leg again. Big E comes back with more offense and a big splash for a 2 count. Bryan ends up sending Big E to the floor, but Big E comes right back and meets him at the ropes. Bryan comes over with the referee, is distracted, and sends Big E into the ring post. Rowan rolls Big E back in for Bryan to put him away. Woods leaps off the steel steps, but Rowan drops him on the floor. Bryan covers Big E for the pin to win. After the match, Bryan and Rowan celebrate as music hits. We go to replays. Bryan and Rowan raise the titles in the air from the stage. Kayla is backstage with R-Truth. He doesn't want her to show highlights from his 24/7 title loss to Drake Maverick from Raw. We see them anyway. Truth talks some nonsense and says he heard Hornswoggle and his wife are in San Antonio for their honeymoon. Truth says he's coming for the 7-11 European Championship. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are backstage. Bliss says Cross is going to host a moment of bliss tonight. She says Cross deserves it because she defeated Carmella and Bayley. Bliss encourages Cross some more and says it's time for Bliss to kick Cross out of the nest. Time for Cross to fly. Cross walks off and her guest will be Bayley. We go to commercial. Back from the break and out comes special host Nikki Cross to the stage for another moment of bliss segment. Cross mentions admiring Alexa more than anyone else. She says she's from Scotland and will take slower so everyone can understand her because she has a bit of an accent. Cross introduces her guest and out comes SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Bayley thanks Cross for having her. Bayley is surprised Bliss is giving Cross a spotlight tonight. Cross tried to defend Bliss, but Bayley says she doesn't have to do Bliss's bidding. Cross says she's not. She's here to host the show and ask the tough questions. Cross asks Bayley why she called Bliss a liar. Because she is a liar, says Bayley. Cross says that's not the Alexa she knows. Cross says that's unfair considering everything Bliss has done for the division and it's going to stop now. Bayley wants to talk about what wasn't fair. Cross beating Bayley last week and Bliss getting the title shot at Extreme Rules. Bayley says Cross should be getting the title shot. Cross doesn't know the answer, but she wants to know why she's not facing Bayley in the ring right now. Bayley then accepts the challenge, and they head to the ring. Nikki gets up from the stage and rushes the ring. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley follows her down the ramp for the non-title match. We go to commercial. Back for the break, Bayley immediately drops Cross for a 2 count. Bayley with a suplex for another pin attempt. Bayley mounts Cross with strikes. Cross goes to the floor for a breather to regroup. The referee counts. Cross comes back in and rocks Bayley, but Bayley comes right back and drops her for another 2 count. Bayley keeps Cross grounded in the middle ring now. Cross finally gets another shot in and sends Bayley to the floor. Cross keeps control, goes to the top after bringing him back in. Cross with a crossbody from the top rope, but Bayley kicks out at 2. Cross with more takedowns and a splash in the corner. Cross with a running bulldog out of the corner. Cross yells out at the crowd for a pop. Bayley blocks the neck breaker and backslides Cross for a 2 count. Cross fights back and goes for a tornado DDT out of the corner, but it's blocked. Bayley nails Bayley's belly. Suplex for the win. After the match, Bayley stands tall, raises the title, and exits. as the music plays. We see Kofi Kingston, WWE Champion, backstage walking and tossing pancakes to the people we can't see. Back to commercial. Back for the break, Ali talks about why he wants to chase the WWE title. Not for the same reasons as those who want the money. He's chasing the title because he wants to bring change to millions of people who were forced to believe a lie about where they're from or what their name is defines them. Ali says he's going to be the one to change that way of thinking, and if you believe the lie, he's going to change your mind when he becomes WWE Champion. Ali goes on about chasing and chasing. He says to let the chase continue, let the lie to be exposed, and let the change begin. We go to the ring, and Kayla Braxton has a microphone. She plugs the WWE title match at Extreme Rules and introduces champion Kofi Kingston first. We see recent happenings between Kofi and Samoa Joe, including Joe's attack from Raw. Kayla introduces the challenger next, and then out comes Joe. Kayla goes to speak, but Joe interrupts her and suggests she get out of the ring. In the interest of preventing collateral damage, Joe addresses Kofi and accuses him of being a hustler. The nice guy who acts like everyone's friend, but really Kofi is just using people like Joe does. Joe says Kofi is no better than him. Joe says he wouldn't be surprised if Xavier Woods becomes Kofi's hype man, but while Big E is his butler. Kofi talks about his recent wins and says he will also beat Joe all by himself at Extreme Rules. Kofi wants to talk about what Joe has done by himself lately. Besides losing the U.S. title to Ricochet, Kofi says he almost has sympathy for Joe and feels bad for him. Kofi wonders what happened to the Joe who used to take on all challengers head on. Kofi says all Joe does now is sneak around and hide. Kofi says Joe's butt is too big to be playing hide and seek. Joe knocks Kofi for using his family to sell t-shirts and pander to the people. Kofi says, right on cue, Joe insulted his family. Kofi's not mad. He understands Joe just did that because he's jealous. Kofi gets a jealous Joe chant going. Kofi says he'd be jealous if he were Joe too, because Joe will never have a WrestleMania moment like Kofi did to share with his kids. Joe wants to do a little experiment to prove to the people what Kofi really is. Joe says it's simple. He wants Kofi to shake his hand to recognize that when he put Kofi to sleep over the past few weeks, he realized that Joe is the next WWE champion. Joe says here's what he will guarantee Kofi for his gesture. He guarantees the safety of Kofi and the ones he loves up until Extreme Rules, and all Kofi has to do is shake his hand. Joe extends his hand and encourages Kofi, calling it a legit offer. Kofi won't shake. Joe threatens to start slapping him around the ring. Joe stares Kofi down, but Kofi responds with a middle finger to the face. Stone Cold style, Kofi then drops Joe with a trouble of paradise. Laying Joe out in the middle of the ring, Kofi stands tall and raises the WWE title over Joe as his music starts up. Sarah Schreiber's backstage with Heavy Machinery. They get hype about the possible spot at Extreme Rules. They have respect for Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, but they're not brothers like Heavy Machinery, and they will implode tonight. Tucker says Heavy Machinery will take care of business. Oda talks about winning the SmackDown tag team titles and say they're coming. We see Apollo Crews walking backstage. He will face Andrade next. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Tom shows us what happened from Raw with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley again. We got to a Twitter video from Lashley who says what Strowman did to him last night on Raw wasn't wrestling. Lashley says Strowman knew what he was doing and he didn't care, but Lashley was only left with some bruises and beaten up a little. Lashley says Strowman tried to kill him, but Strowman ended up getting the worst of it, as he should and he deserved. Lashley goes on and says next time he sees that SOB, Strowman, he's not going to try and send him back to the hospital. He's going to send him to the morgue in that segment. Andrade and versus Apollo Crews. Right to the ring, match underway. Andrade at Apollo Crews brawl as Zelina barks orders from ringside. Andrade drops Crews in the corner, delivers running knees for a close 2 count. Crews ends up turning it around on the floor and hitting a moonsault from the apron. Crews yells out for a pop for the crowd. Crews brings it back in the ring for a 1 count. Screen splits into a commercial. Another wrestling nerd commercial. Back from the break. Brawl continues. Cruz mounts more offense and drops Andrade, yelling out again for another pop from the crowd. Andrade fights out of the corner and lands a kick to the jaw. Vega looks worried at ringside, and Cruz presses Andrade high in the air and holds him there for a few seconds before slamming him down. Cruz with a standing moonsault for a close 2 count. Cruz clubs Andrade in the back of the neck. Andrade counters the move and comes right back with a huge elbow to the match, dropping Cruz. Andrade also goes down. Andrade tries to fly out onto the floor on Cruz, but Cruz catches him, sends him into the ring apron. Vega ends up leaping off the apron to send Cruz into the announce table while the referee is supposedly checking on Andrade, but it was right in front of the referee who just had his head down. And that leads to Andrade dropping Cruz in the middle of the ring with a hammerlock DDT. Andrade covers for the pin and win. After the match, Vega hits the ring to pose with Andrade and the music starts up. Cruz is down on his back at ringside. KO and Dolph Ziggler are backstage. Owen says there's very little chance this works unless they have a game plan, which he has. Owen says Ziggler should just stay to the side, look pretty, and let Owens get the job done. Ziggler tells Owens to stay away from the hot dogs. Ziggler says he should do what he does best is steal the show to get the job done. Owens admits that they both haven't had the best records on their own since coming back, but maybe Shane was right, and they said they should team up to get a win. Ziggler hesitates at first, but says he's done worse. They barely get on the same page to end the segment. Ember Moon's backstage getting a good look from Carmella. She walks off to the ring as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Allister Black backstage. Black says he had a knock on the door last week, but when he went to answer it, he found no one was there. On camera, he didn't go to the door. Black applauds the mystery knocker on not only fighting on a physical level now, but fighting on a spiritual plane as well. Black then says he cares little for the reveal of the person. He only cares about the person showing up at Extreme Rules, because if they shall fight in the heavens, they shall fight in the 7 layers of hell. If they were to meet in purgatory, fighting they shall. Black says that he finds himself invigorated because if the mystery man is enough to knock on his door, then they should reveal who they are at Extreme Rules as the person who picked a fight with Black. Ember Moon versus Mandy Rose is up next. We go to ring, the bell rings, and Mandy awaits in the ring with Ember Moon. Sonya Deville at ringside. Moon immediately charges for Deville after being taunted. Rose takes control early on and stands Moon on her head for a close 2 count. Rose mounts Moon with strikes. Rose keeps Moon down with knees against the ropes, and the referee warns her. Rose whips Moon hard into the corner, and she goes down. Rose follows up with a big running knee strike for a close 2 count. Rose keeps Moon grounded in the middle of the ring. Moon finally looks to make a comeback with double knees, which Rose has done. Moon goes to the top, nails the Eclipse for the win out of nowhere. After the match, Moon's music hits and she hits the ramp. Deville rushes the ring to check on Rose. We go to replays. Moon stands tall on the ramp and looks on from the ramp to end the segment. Shelton Benjamin's backstage. A female voice asks him who will win the WWE title at Extreme Rules. Benjamin cracks a smile. Just keeps smiling before walking off. Actually, he's just looking. Nothing said. Okay, we get Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler backstage, walking to the ring. Back commercial. Heavy Machinery versus KO and Dolph Ziggler. Back for the break, and it's time for the main event. Big E and Xavier Woods are in their custom announce table with a bunch of pancakes. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Daniel Bryan and Rowan are also out on commentary on the other side of the announce table at the actual announcer's table. Kevin Owens out first for his team, followed by Ziggler. Out next comes Tucker and Otis of Heavy Machinery. Winners earn a spot in the tag team title match at Extreme Rules to make it a triple threat. Ziggler starts off with Otis as they go at it. Ziggler tries to take Otis down, but he can't get him over. Of course, he's too heavy. Ziggler tries again, but Otis slams him to the mat. Otis with another big slam from behind. Bryan rants on commentary as Otis drops Ziggler in the corner for a pop. Owens pulls Ziggler to the floor. To save him, Big E and Wood suddenly attack Bryan and Rowan at the announce table. Rowan gets double teamed, but Bryan drops Big E with a running knee. Woods drops Bryan next. Rowan comes right back and snaps, tearing apart the New Day's announce table. Rowan puts Woods through that table with an iron claw slam. Rowan and Bryan talk trash and talk the New Day as we go back to commercial. Back from the break, and the bell rings as the match has been restarted due to the chaos at ringside. According to Tom, Owens and Tucker lock up and trade holds in the middle of the ring. Tucker drops Owens first, makes a quick pin attempt, more back and forth. Tucker with a big back drop and a close 2 count. Owens ends up knocking Tucker out of the ring. Ziggler tags in and works Tucker over against the barrier. Ziggler brings it back in the ring for a 2 count. Owens tags back in and stomps away on Tucker while he's down. Owens with a standing frog splash for a 2 count. Ziggler tags back in and hits the neck breaker. Then Owens follows up with a senton for a 2 count by Ziggler. Ziggler keeping Tucker grounded with a submission now. Tucker tries to push Ziggler into the corner for a tag, but Ziggler rams his back into the corner as Owens tags in, keeps the attack going in the corner. Owens mocks heavy machinery, but pays for it by running into an elbow in the corner. Tucker with a big crossbody. Fans pop as Otis waits for the tag. Otis and Ziggler tag in at the same time. Otis unloads and drops Ziggler with a big headbutt. Otis scoops Ziggler and spins him around before slamming him. Very similar to Braun Strowman and the Alabama Slam. Otis with a big overhead throw for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Ziggler jumps up and catches Otis with a big DDT. Ziggler tags in. Owens, who super kicks Otis. Otis knocks Owens out of the ring. Ziggler comes in from behind for a zigzag, but Otis stops him. Otis levels Ziggler. Otis with a caterpillar on Ziggler now. Otis runs in and super kicks Otis. Owens runs in and super kicks Otis. Owens gets up and blocks the stunner. Ziggler comes in to super kick Otis, but Otis moves and nails Ziggler. As Ziggler dropped Owens instead. Tucker comes in and sends Ziggler out of the ring. Tucker and Otis hit the compactor on Owens, and Tucker covers for the pin and the win, earning the title spot at Extreme Rules. After the match, heavy machinery to a tall as the music plays. We go to replays. Tucker and Otis leave as Ziggler approaches Owens in the middle of the ring. Owens grabs Ziggler and delivers a stunner for a pop. Owens yells and rants about SmackDown being his show, the KO show. Fans want one more stunner as SmackDown goes off the air. But it wasn't shown. 205 Live opens with Tony Nese, Jack Gallagher, and Oney Lorcan having a conversation backstage. Nese says that this is the most dangerous he's ever seen current Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak, and they need to be better prepared for their 6-man main event, where they face Gulak, Eric DeVary, and Mike Kanellis. Gallagher and Lorcan both chime in, with Lorcan promising that tonight's bout will be chaotic. 205 Live intro. Vic Joseph, Nigel McGuinness, and Aiden English come out welcoming us to another edition of 205 Live. The show airs from San Antonio. Lucha House Party is out for our opening tag contest. Recap of the loss of the Singh Brothers from 2 weeks ago was played. Following bout was announced as a tornado tag. Singh Brothers are out next, carrying their Oscars, whatever they are. Grand Metalik and Les Dorado will represent Lucha House Party, with Callisto's remaining on the outside. Lucha House Party versus Singh Brothers tornado tag match. Singh Brothers do their signature dance. Metalik and Dorado start with a Lucha chant. All 4 men brawling. Access built to the outside. Dorado takes out Samir with a clothesline off the barricade. Metalik and Sunil tangle inside the ring, with Metalik dropping Sunil with a very athletic arm drag, followed by Mr. Dropkick. Tandem offense by the Lucha House Party onto Samir. Early pinfall, only 2 count. Singh Brothers toss Metalik into the outside and begin double teaming Dorado. Dorado fights him off and connects with a springboard moonsault for a near fall. Metalik and Dorado with a wheelbarrow bulldog combo on the apron. Metalik catches Samir with an insecurity. He climbs. Sunil pulls Metalik off. He hits the top of the turnbuckles hard like snake eyes. As Singh brothers are now in control, Sunil nearly decapitates Dorado with a spinning heel kick. Samir stomps down Metallic in the corner. Metalik. Sunil joining in afterwards. Snapmare from Samir. He slows the pace down with a headlock. Singh brothers bounce Metalik off the ropes. Double elbow followed by dual elbow drop. They set Metalik up. Draping knee. Supervised splash. Dorado breaks up the pin attempt. Metalik begins to come back. Reverse sling blade on Sunil, but Samir throws Metalik to ringside. Dorado jumps in. He lays into Samir, Frankensteiner, and drop kick in succession. Sunil's hard charges, but he eats a drop kick as well. Dorado climbs crossbody with a pin. Sunil just breaks up the pin. He gets dumped out. Dorado with a head spring rewind stunner. Double suicide dive by Metalik and Dorado. Back in the ring, Metalik and Dorado go for the springboard maneuver. The Singh hit them with a super kicks. Cover, Dorado kicks out. Samir grabs a fake Oscar to use as a weapon. Calisto stops him. This sets up Metalik and Dorado for the elbow drop and shooting star press, and that'll do it. Winners by pinfall, Lucha House Party. After the match, commentary team talks about Humberto Carrillo, each commending him for his rise with a 205 Live edition. A video package containing Carrillo's highlights is played, including his work in NXT. Commercial for tomorrow's NXT, featuring Roger Strong versus Tyler Breeze in the main event. Back to the ring, Mike Kanellis is interviewed about what happened on Raw last night. Are you emotionally ready to compete tonight? Asks the interviewer. Kanellis says, of course. He's not ready to compete after such an emotional evening. He reveals that his wife, Maria, will not accompany him to ringside because they are not exactly talking right now. He recalls Maria's hurtful words from Raw, where she called him a disappointment. Kanellis places the blame on General Manager Drake Maverick for failing to give him the opportunities that he deserves. I swear that Drake is going to pay for the damage he done to my family. He promises to turn things around by winning tonight's main event. We'll see. Jack Gallagher was out first, which means it's main event time. Oney Lorcan is second, followed by the former champion Tony Nese. For the heels, Mike Kanellis was out without Maria. Ari DeVere was out second, and the champ Glock was out last. Here we go. Gallagher and Oney Lorcan, and Tony Nese versus Drew Glock and Ari DeVere and Mike Kanellis. Nese and Glock begin the match. Glock fakes like he's going to tie up with Nese, but instead tags in Kanellis. Backstage, Maria is watching the match. Gallagher comes in, and he and Kanellis tie up, wrist lock by Kanellis. Gallagher switches into a waist lock. Kanellis gets bounced off the ropes, runs through Gallagher with a shoulder block. Gallagher tries to tricks Kanellis by cradling into a ball, then takes him down with a pinfall attempt. Oney gets tagged in. Or Oney. He goes right after DeVere, who flees. As Lorcan takes out frustration on Kanellis, laying into his chest with huge strikes. Kanellis fires off a few of his own, but Lorcan wins that exchange of chest strikes. Slaps Lorcan off the ropes. Kanellis with some misdirection. Huge lariat by Kanellis. DeVere tags in and unloads with a fury of fists onto Lorcan. He screams at Lorcan before dropping him with a standing boot. Glock's in, double suplex on Lorcan. Glock with the cover, only a 2 count. Lorcan finally mounts to come back. Manages to take in Nese. Nese runs through everyone. He hits the signature kip-up super kick spot onto DeVere. Gallagher takes out Kanellis on the outside. Nese goes for the springboard moonsault, but Glock pushes him over the top rope onto the lot. Pace slows down. Glock uses his superior mat wrestling skill to ground Nese with an arm lock. Nese connects with a flying crossbody. Glock makes him pay with a stiff lariat. DeVere backs in, stomp to Nese's chest. Triple team by the heels. Gallagher and Lorcan jump in. Brief chaos, but the referee regains order. Glock picks Nese up. Nese slips behind. Pump handle buster. Lorcan gets hot tag. Lorcan runs through everyone with uppercuts. He knocks Kanellis out of the ring, blockbusters to DeBerry. Gallagher picks up DeBerry in a fireman's carry and drops him over the top rope. Tandem offense from Lorcan and Gallagher, including a falling headbutt. Gallagher goes for the superplex. Kanellis pulls him off. Everyone ends up on the outside. Tope con hilo from Lorcan, followed by a twisting tope con hilo by knees. Gallagher reaches under the ring, where he builds his old umbrella. Mary Poppins off the top. Gallagher throws the very in. Elbow lands. Covers. Gulak makes a save. Lorcan and DeBerry fight into the backstage area. Kanellis nearly steals a win after a blind tag. Nice catches him in the sunset driver. That'll do it. Winners of the match, Tony Nese, Lorcan, and Jack Gallagher by pinfall. After the match, Gulak attacks Nese. Lorcan and DeBerry return from backstage, still brawling. Gallagher and Kanellis are going at it. Brawl spills all over the arena, including near the commentary table, scaring Joseph, McGinnis, and English. What's going on? Screams Joseph. That ends the show. WWE held 2 dark match main events for this week's 205 Live, ending at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. First dark main event saw women's champion Bayley retain her title over Charlotte Flair by pinfall. Flair dominated most of the match towards the end, but Bayley took advantage of Flair showing off and put her away with a Bayley to belly suplex. According to a correspondent in attendance, Flair did not appear on this week's SmackDown, as you heard from the results from the SmackDown broadcast. But she did come out during a commercial break for an exchange with Bayley to set up the dark main event. Second match saw WWE Champion Kofi Kingston retain the title over Dolph Ziggler in what was said to be a great 15-minute match. Ziggler lost by disqualification after using a kendo stick on Kingston. Kofi fought back and left Ziggler laying to end the show. And there is a little bit of action, and I'll post both links right here. Dolph versus Kofi and Charlotte versus Bayley. It's been a while since WWE ran 2 dark main events on a Monday night show or Tuesday night. Correspondent in attendance noted that many fans left the arena before Flair versus Bayley match even began. Some during the match, and even more left after it ended. Also noted that pre-SmackDown dark match saw Ali defeating Buddy Murphy in singles match. And that concludes my results for this week. And I'll give you some impersonations. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. That came from well, I combined it with my own. Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. Road Dogg. And everybody knows the woo chant. Taunt. And you got, let's see. Ooh, yeah. Macho Man. Randy Savage. Well, let me tell you about this mean gene. Hulk Hogan. And that concludes my impersonations. And that'll end my results for this week. See you want to be. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. That'll be the day. Hey, hey.